Ain't like I'm still 5 years old, you know? Ain't like I'm gonna be sitting up every night asking my mom, when's daddy coming home, you know? Who needs him?
It's all right to be angry.
How come he don't want me, man?
All us kids with no dads are gonna take over the world.
Hence why the name is Milk Run, you know. Our fathers went to get milk, never came back.
We can restore the balance.
Hashtag no dad gang.
We always end up coming back with milk. Unlike your dad, we'll be here next week. The Milk Run Podcast. Welcome back to the Milk Run Podcast.
We are back.
It's good to be back.
Dude, haven't been on this in a while.
We made it back for episode 3. Didn't think we'd get here, but we're back.
We're back.
We're
Whole
here.
new day.
We're ready to go.
Brand new day.
Hashtag no dad gang. We're in it.
Guys, don't forget to tag that if you ever have any posts of us.
Yeah,
Hashtag-
ask us questions. Ask us anything you want. Send us DMs. Tag us in comments. Send us memes. No dad memes. They're the good stuff.
Yeah, send us no dad memes.
But the best way to connect is if you just follow us on Instagram, here at the Milk Run Podcast, Spotify, and you can subscribe to us on YouTube.
Please do. We
From
love
YouTube.
that, you know.
Today we're going to get into the topic of abandonment, and we're going to get there soon.
Love it.
Because as boys with no dads, it's something we both struggle with.
Yes, for sure.
We're going to talk about it a little bit, but I want to throw some stats at you.
Oh, we're going straight into it. I love it.
I want to throw some statistics at you. Okay. Bosco, first of all, I want to introduce my son. Bosco, come here.
Bosco.
Bosco.
Is a son.
This is my son. Come here, boy.
This is my first
Come
time
here.
hearing of this.
Come. I have to pretend I have food or he won't come to me. Ready? Come on. Come on, you want that? Yeah, up. Yeah, see? This is my son. Can you see him on camera? Yeah. This is my son, Bosco. He's a little something or other. He's a crossbreed.
I get so hungry.
Efrat. You're crazy, man.
I'm crazy. I'm sorry.
He's not for sale. So we're going to get into abandonment.
Yes.
And like I said, but we're going to roll through some stats right now because in episode 1, I threw out a couple of lines like fatherlessness, in my opinion, and this was before I even saw these stats. Fatherlessness, in my opinion, is the leading cause of all the problems in our world.
Yeah.
Every single issue that I think the world is facing is based on identity, and it's always been the case.
Okay.
If you have a healthy identity, you have a healthy understanding of who you are and why you're here, then the world is a better place.
Wow.
Right? Fatherlessness causes breakdown in many different areas, and here's some stats to flip and prove it.
Us with it.
Producer Sass sent me some stats.
Shout
That
out
rhymes.
Sass. Wow.
Give me a beat.
Who is Sass to you? Can you tell me that first?
Producer Sass is my wife.
It's your wife.
She my honey. She my boo thing. No, she's my wife, man.
Okay.
So that's why she's sitting in the dark corner.
Nah, shout out to Sass. We love her.
Sitting in the dark corner, helping us with
She
the
just waved to the
smart
camera.
things.
Even though she didn't have a camera.
Producer Sass. According to studies, fatherlessness increases poverty.
That's true.
So the less fathers we have in the home, the less healthy, good fathers we have in the home, the more it increases the poverty state of a nation.
Hot topic. Right.
Go. Lay it on me.
Without a male in the house, there's nobody to lead it.
And so how does that affect everything?
Think about it, right? So if you put that as your main perspective, if you look at that in that way, you see the male as the main money earner, right?
Yeah, breadwinner.
So it doesn't mean, I'm not saying that male is the one that's making the most money. Like you may have a family with the mom making, say, 500k and the dad only making 60k.
Well, in today's day and age, that happens more and more often because the mums have got their booty cheeks on OnlyFans. So they make them bank.
Like me. No. Yeah.
Your bunda.
Subscribe,
you put your bunda on OnlyFans.
Yes, but...
Okay, I get that.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. This one blew my mind.
I'm ready.
Fatherlessness lowers educational performance.
Okay.
So in other words, we out here raising dumbasses.
Yeah, okay. Without father, when they don't have fathers.
Fatherlessness lowers educational performance. So
Okay.
fatherlessness in the home is literally causing people's educational performance to go down.
Wow.
I can see that in my own life because I really didn't try that much because I didn't have someone pushing me, I don't think.
I think boys like us need a bit of pushing, a bit of like, come on.
I think you need to have that father figure in your life encouraging you, pushing you. Otherwise, you end up as a dumbass like me. Are you liking these?
I'm shooketh to the core.
He is crazy. Shooketh. Are you a bit blown away?
I am
so
bit
far.
blown away.
Here's
So
another
far,
one.
yeah.
This one will be pretty obvious. Fatherlessness increases crime.
What?
Believe it or not. So if you don't got a daddy in the home,
got no one to whoop
you're
your
a crim.
No one to whoop your
If you don't have a daddy, you're a crim.
no
Crim.
criminal.
You're gonna go to jail.
Juvie.
Or juvie. So I come
Yeah.
from, I don't want to name and shame the town I'm from, Townsville. And there's
the
a
Townsville
lot
girl.
of, yeah, it's Townsville, bro, like from the Powerpuff Girls. So I was raised there. I was there for a long time, moved to the Goldie about 2 years ago.
Again,
The Promised Land.
we love Gold Coast is the Miami of Australia,
I've never been to Miami.
right?
It's okay.
Sass gets
Producer
it.
Sass says
Gen
it's true.
Z.
So there's a lot of youth crime in Townsville, perpetrated a lot of the time by young people who have been raised in a fatherless environment or an environment with a broken home.
Yep.
Fatherlessness increases drug abuse. Hello, been there, done that.
Wow.
I didn't have a daddy and I got into drugs.
Hardcore.
Yeah, it was cool.
That's great.
Oh, not cool.
No, not cool. No, for those of you who don't have fathers, please don't do drugs.
No.
If you need help,
Don't do drugs.
we can help you with a helpline.
Yeah. It's 1-800 don't do drugs. Okay. Fatherlessness increases sexual problems.
Sexual problems. Can we elaborate on that? Wait.
So I don't think like erectile dysfunction.
Yeah.
So like you can't get it. Anyways,
Please-
I think it means like sexual problems in terms of like sexual abuse.
Got it.
Misconduct of sexual nature. So like for me, for example, not having a father in the house, I didn't have someone to set the example in terms of healthy sexuality. And so I had to figure it out from elsewhere. And what the world has to say about sexuality is pretty messed up. So there's that one. Yeah, producer Sass makes a good point. A lot of girls who don't have fathers run into a lot of problems in the
Yeah,
sexual
wow.
problem place. Fatherlessness increases mental health problems.
Yeah.
Okay. So now in 2023, as opposed to 2008, I think it was, there is a significant increase in mental health problems. Massive, right?
Yeah.
What did I say in the beginning? Fatherlessness is the root issue of everything going on, I believe. Right now, in today's day and age, we have more people with mental health problems than ever before, and it's because we have more broken homes than ever before.
I agree.
Fatherlessness and family breakdown. Here's a stat in Australia. Costs Australia $13 billion per year.
That's crazy.
So it affects our culture in such a way that it costs flipping money.
that's only in Australia too.
So you imagine worldwide how that would play. So fatherlessness is a big deal.
100%.
Here's what we need. We need fathers to take responsibility. We need fathers to be fathers.
Yep.
And we need young people who have no dads, who had no good father figures, to go out and find some.
Yes.
We need to bridge this gap.
And that's what this podcast is here to do.
That's what we're here to do.
We're trying to help. We're trying to help. We're trying to set the example
We're taking the hashtag no dad gang
to another level.
to another level.
We're gonna bring the milk back.
We're here to bring the milk back.
We're gonna provide the milk. Are we allowed to say that, Sus?
We're bringing the milkies back.
I hate milkies.
Oak.
Oh yeah.
Chocolate milk or strawberry milk?
Strawberry, for sure. No
I'm
doubt.
strawberry milk too.
Oh, you
Give me-
actually?
Give me some love. Reach over.
You know what? You know what it is. The
It's the,
similarities.
it's
of not
the
having
no
a dad.
dad gang.
Right? Tell me that's not right.
Anyways, I prefer strawberry milk. But today
I love strawberry milk.
we're talking about abandonment. We heard some stats, but this whole idea of abandonment and abandonment issues.
Yeah.
You were talking last episode about how when your mum used to drop you off to school, daycare,
Yeah.
you used to cry because you think that your mummy left you.
For sure. You know how much. And in the same sense now, it still affects me.
You still have abandonment issues today?
No, not as
Or like, does it present itself maybe as rejection problems? Like you're scared of being rejected?
So guys, if you don't know this, I'm in a relationship now.
You just broke the hearts of at least
2 people.
two people.
Yeah. So yes, I got a girlfriend. Shout out. And when we first started dating, I really struggled with rejection. I'm like, damn, she's gonna leave me,
Bro.
Is that same with you,
Bro.
right?
That is me and producer Sass. We're married now.
Maybe one day you guys can see what Sass looks like.
I still have yet to see her. We're in a long distance marriage. From here to there.
Sass is
She's
zooming
sitting
in.
behind the camera.
Yeah.
So when we first started dating, it was the exact same thing, man. Like, we almost broke up because I was such a little pipsqueak. Because I was so scared of rejection.
Yep.
And I had abandonment issues. And I thought, just like I'd seen... Because I had seen my mum date men who sucked. I'd seen my brothers date people who sucked,
Yep.
who broke their hearts, cheated on them. I was in relationships before where I got cheated on.
Yeah.
And so all of that together, as well as a sense of
adds up,
abandonment from dad leaving...
For sure.
I was definitely, bro. I was in a place where it was not good.
Were you pretty clingy?
Oh, very.
Clingy?
Like to the point, I'm going to be a bit vulnerable here. If we were hanging out and like she didn't show me enough attention, I was hurt.
Yeah.
Emotionally.
I get that. No, really.
Now that was all on me.
Yeah.
So that at no point was on her.
Yeah.
That was all on me and the issues that I was facing. And so I had to deal with that. Now I can go like 3 weeks without even talking to her. And now I can gladly just like go get milk and leave for 3 weeks. No,
And Sass will be
that's
like,
a
"Where are
joke.
you?" Yeah.
But now the abandonment stuff, like I've dealt with
gone.
it. I've
Yes,
worked with it with a
yes.
counselor. I've done different
Yep.
things and I'm past it. But how about you? You're still dating, so like, how have you found? First of all, why don't you kind of try to articulate the whole idea of abandonment?
Okay.
And then how are you working through it?
All right. Well, I'm not gonna lie. Where I'm at right now, I'm feeling amazing.
You feeling good?
I've never felt as sturdy as I've ever been.
Sturdy.
I was studying it up. Yeah, like, but generally, though, I've never felt so. I picture it as a big building about to fall,
Yeah.
right? But it feels so stable.
So you
solid
feel
right now.
like the opposite of the Twin Towers.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's cool.
That's a reference to the last podcast that we had.
Yeah.
You gotta listen to it.
Yeah.
Anyways, yes. So, but at the very start, say, of my relationship with Maddie, I really struggled a lot with that. I really struggled. It was the first year. Even
Same.
Literally the exact same thing that you said.
Yeah.
About Sass. Literally same thing. I had to work through it.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know this, I'm a Christian. I don't know about Jake.
Sometimes it's questionable. People don't like calling me a Christian because I'm a rogue. But I'm a Christian. Yeah, I believe in God. I believe in Jesus.
I believe in God and I believe in Jesus as well. And so I think without Jesus, I was going to say religion, but it wouldn't be. That's not the truth. But without Jesus, I actually wouldn't be where I'm at right now. And people will be like, well, how does that work? How does it make sense? You know.
It's one of those things where it's like, unless you experience it for yourself, it actually can't be explained.
Yes.
And we could actually sit here, and a lot of this podcast could really be summarized by just saying it's actually a faith and a faith in God that has changed our lives.
Yes.
And that's a real blanket answer. But there is more to it.
There's more to it. And one day, one of our episodes will be dedicated on that.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about that. But right now, we're talking about abandonment.
Yeah.
And yes,
So what made you initially, because you said that when you were in primary school or kindy, was it?
yeah, primary school.
And your mum dropped you off, you cried because you thought she abandoned you.
Yes. So not at first, but say mum told me that mum told me I'm gonna pick her at 4:30. Right, I see the time. It's 4:31, and this is what I'm literally. You know how you're trying to hold back your tears? I'll be like, no, I'll be fine. And then mum wouldn't be there until 5 o'clock because she had to stay back for work, or I'd be a mess.
Yeah.
I'd be crying. I think that also comes to, I don't know, I feel really bad as well for the workers that's looking after me, even though they're getting paid for it.
You felt bad for the workers.
Weird, right? And so there was this one instance that I remember to this day so clearly, right? Mum was working overtime, and I was the very last kid there. I was already crying in tears, little chubby Efrat, just crying. And and then they had some sort of CPR training, and I thought it was the end of the world. I'm like, no, Mum has abandoned me.
Did you think there was like dead people or something on the ground?
No.
Okay.
But I'm just like, damn, Mum has abandoned me. Like they literally finished up. What are they gonna do when?
Why do you think that you had that sense of abandonment, or why did you think your mum had abandoned you?
I think subconsciously, I'm sure you would also relate to this. Because you don't have a dad growing up, I just automatically feel like mum is also going to do the same thing that my dad did.
Yeah, wow.
Right?
That's interesting, man.
But that also happens to be for my like relationship full stop for everything. Not so much now, but especially when I was younger, I was really wary of I made a lot of friends, but I was really wary to be super close with them. Or if once I do get close and I see something is about to happen, I'd be the one that just ditches them.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know if that... Did you do that?
For me, I reckon I kind of went the other way.
Yeah.
I really clung on to people.
Okay.
As a kid. I would, like, I had a lot of good friends, and I would just, like, cling to them, and I would always sleep over their houses, and I would always be hanging out with them because I was so scared of being alone.
Yes.
Whereas it sounds like you were scared of facing rejection and abandonment, and so you didn't want to give people the chance.
No, and so I'd just run the other way.
Yep.
Straight away.
Whereas I think I held on so tight.
Wow, that's two ends of the...
Yeah.
That's cool.
Because I held on, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
You're not going to abandon me. Not going to happen.
Yeah.
Whereas you're like, I'm not even going to give you the chance, so I'm out of here.
What was your biggest struggle with abandonment growing up?
I think just the feeling.
Yeah.
And dealing with that feeling in my belly. It made me feel sick.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Feeling like someone's going to walk out on you.
Yeah.
Or feeling not good enough is a feeling that you feel deep in your belly.
I feel it now. Like the fact that I know that feeling, that I'm feeling it right now. Yeah.
It takes you back there.
It does.
And it's like, a lot of these things, man, it's not just like blasé, like...
No.
It affects you. It affects you physically. I mean, the stats that we said at the start of this episode, I mean, there's a reason why fatherlessness increases crime rates, drops education, all these different things. There's a reason because it creates within us all these different emotional responses that affect us physically.
Yeah. We've both been in the industry as well, and we've seen how that affects the
Well,
adolescents.
totally. So for me, I was a school chaplain.
Yeah.
For a number of years. One of the coolest jobs I've ever had. And I've had a lot of cool jobs. One time, I was a singing and dancing pirate at Aussie World on the sunny coast. So I've had some pretty cool jobs.
No
You may
way.
not think that's cool. I don't either. In fact, it's one of the cringiest moments of my life.
I recognize you from somewhere.
No, yeah, from Pirates of the Caribbean Wish version.
I've never been to Australia World.
It's called Aussie World.
Yeah, see?
It's Australia World.
What is this place?
That is the most Asian thing you have
Australia
ever said in your life.
Aussie World.
Aussie World.
See, I grew up on the Goldie. Say Dream World.
Oh, bro.
World.
So Aussie World, let me paint a picture for you. Dream World is the ugly cousin of Movie World.
Okay.
So Movie World's superior.
So now it is.
Now it is, correct.
Yes.
But back in the day, Dream World was the
I grew up with Dream World.
But just for the sake of the illustration,
Yep.
Movie World top.
Yep.
Dream World is the ugly cousin of Movie World. And then Aussie World is the ugly cousin twice removed.
Adopted. No.
So it's like a second cousin, third cousin, probably from Tasmania.
We don't like those Tasmanians, do we?
A bit weird.
Aren't you from Tasmania?
No.
Oh.
Do I look? No, just joking. So I worked at Aussie World, but then being a chaplain was actually a good job. I enjoyed that. And I dealt with a lot of young people. Both boys and girls, mainly boys, because we had female chaplains who would look after the girls.
Females.
There was a lot of young boys who struggled in this area.
100%.
And I think it creates within a lot of young people a need to be accepted. And that in itself brings a lot of behaviors that can be detrimental to society.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, when men feel the need to prove themselves, man, it's not always pretty.
Yeah, and I feel like the boys are trying to be accepted, and because they don't have that fatherless, they're trying to get this attention, right?
Yeah.
Again, I'm gonna reference Naruto. Quite a lot. If you have seen Naruto.
Naruto. You always say that in the most Australian accent. The way you say it offends me.
Maybe we should swap races for the day.
Say your Japanese name.
Asuka Yamaguchi.
Now say Naruto Uzumaki in the same.
Naruto Uzumaki.
Oh, get out of here.
No, but if you guys have seen Naruto, if you see Naruto, he deliberately does pranks. He deliberately does everything naughty in order to get attention from society, right?
Totally. Well, this is kind of leading us into something I would like to talk about next episode, which is behavioral issues.
But
for now, I think tell me about your industry, like where you're working right now, and some of the patterns that you're seeing amongst those young guys.
So I'm a youth worker, pretty similar to chaplaincy. Not really. With the other end.
Yeah, a youth worker would deal more with like high risk kids, sort of. Yes. Whereas as a chaplain, you've got kind of a mix of everyone.
Yeah, and you'll deal with them during school hours, whereas we're literally at the end of the day.
Sometimes you gotta overnight shift, eh?
Yeah. Like
you just came from an overnight shift.
Yes. So you know what? You gotta hustle hard, right? Gotta help these people find that milk.
Hey man, here at the Milk Run podcast, we never rest. We always searching for the milk.
Come on now.
And we always bring it back.
Lactose,
Continue.
soy. Yes.
So your workplace.
Every kid that I work with all have parental issues, and they all fall into say like depression, anxiety. Each one of them. I don't think you could put out a name. I'd be like, yep. But this all falls from these kids having not having a fatherly figure, honestly motherly figure as well, full stop. And you see that these parents are all in jail or not alive, you know.
Yeah, well,
yeah, that's pretty like.
Would you say what percentage of
100%
of the kids?
100%.
100%.
Yeah, I reckon
of the kids you work with.
Yes. That's why they're in our care. They don't have any.
They don't have anyone.
They do. So they do. So these things called contact, and they do see their parents, but their parents are barely involved.
Yeah, wow.
I reckon 2. I can name 2 out of the whole company that their parents are super involved, but it's super rare.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
But that's the world we live in, eh?
Yes.
And that would only account for a very small percentage of young people who are struggling with the idea of fatherlessness and not being raised in a secure home. But you extend that beyond kids.
Yep.
You've got teenagers, young adults, elderly people who are still struggling with the remnants of the hurt of what was from their childhood.
And they just don't seek help. You know?
That's right. And that's why we live in a world where we are facing, like the stats at the start of the episode, we are facing troubles in the world.
Yeah.
And it all starts at home.
Yeah, it does. It does. I think with you went out to, what's his name, Graham?
Yeah, Super G.
Shout out to Super G.
Super G, top G.
As a person, so were you pretty vulnerable with him?
Eventually.
Like eventually, right?
Yeah.
I think with
Eventually,
everything-
I reckon I went all the way in terms of vulnerability. Like, you can't get more vulnerable than that.
I think with no father people, we really we test the waters first, right?
Oh, totally.
100%.
You
You
got to
wouldn't-
know you can trust people.
Yeah, you're not gonna 100% go.
We got that built-in mistrust.
No, it comes stock with us. yeah, so
That's that stock model.
The stock model.
Comes with built-in mistrust.
And so, I was the same. It took me, I don't know, 4 years, I reckon. I only started talking about this when I was 19, properly to someone that I trust.
Yep.
But it took,
Bro, that's
a
2
while.
years ago, man.
I know.
No, I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, thank God.
Yeah.
You did start talking about it when you did, because right now you could be a 21-year-old who still hasn't dealt with his crap.
Yeah, for sure. And I could be depressed right
And
now.
let me tell you, bro,
Yeah.
I didn't even start dealing with my crap properly until I was like 23,
23. Wow.
maybe 22.
That would have affected you?
Oh,
in your adulthood,
bro.
Hey.
It affected me so bad, man. Like I've said in a previous episode, like, I really lent on drugs, alcohol, bad relationships, toxic relationships. I hung around places I never should have been.
Yeah.
And I did that because I didn't deal with my crap.
Yeah.
That was some of the worst, most lonely moments of my life, man. There were times in my life where I wished I was dead.
Wow.
And, like, trigger warning for some people who may be struggling with suicidal thoughts and all that type of stuff. Like,
Yes.
there have been multiple times in my life, because I didn't deal with my stuff, that I wished for death. You know, when I remember being in my 20s, man, I cut myself a bit.
Wow.
I remember, and so then that wasn't enough, and then it ended up being in drugs and alcohol and all sorts of different stuff. And so I never could bring myself to do anything beyond that, because one of my big reasons is my brother Matt.
Yep.
And makes me emotional to this day, bro, because a lot of people don't have a loved one in their life that they can lean on.
For sure.
But I have my brother.
Yeah.
And so I never could do anything like that, because I loved my brother so much.
Yeah, wow.
And so, and we've always been there for each other. And I know he would say the same thing about me. I know it.
Yep.
He's my best mate in the whole world. I know he'd say that.
Yes.
But ultimately, it's because I didn't deal with my stuff.
Yep.
I didn't deal with my stuff. I was scared of life. I was scared of dealing with it. And then eventually I did it.
Yeah.
And my life has changed, bro.
How good does it feel, right?
I feel free.
Right. Don't you feel like there's a huge rock that just came off your body?
Yeah, literally.
Right.
Well, it's to the point now where I'm sitting in a room,
Yeah.
starting a podcast about fatherlessness and brokenness.
Yes.
Together.
Yes.
I mean, it doesn't get more real than that. And
I agree.
And I really want to use our stories to help people, man.
Yes.
There are some broken ass people out there. You know how I know?
100%. Yes.
Because I'm one.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're one.
No, there's so many stories out there, you know.
And we want to hear them.
Yes.
We
do.
want you to reach out to us with your stories and get in contact with us. And
Please.
we're going to keep bringing to light some of these different things. And there are funny moments to be had. But ultimately, we want to help you. Like
Yeah.
you said in one of the episodes, we want to help guide you. We don't want to tell you what to do.
Just guide.
We want to bring some guidance. You can choose to follow along or not if you agree or disagree.
Ultimately, it's your choice.
It's your choice, but we are here and we will be here. Why?
Yes.
Because here at the Milk Run podcast,
We come back with the milk.
we come back with the milk.
Come on now.
We come back with the milk. Hey, next episode,
Yes.
we're going to talk about behavioral issues.
Yes.
I'm
That's
excited.
us.
I was a bad boy.
You a bad boy?
I was a bad boy.
I was a pretty good boy.
You're a good boy?
So we get to see
So
both sides.
you're good cop, I'm bad cop.
But I'll still.
You're a
Anyways,
little bit. We'll get into
we'll get into
Hey,
it.
make sure you follow us on Instagram.
Thank you.
Follow
for
us on
supporting
Spotify and YouTube. Stay in contact. Stay in tune.
Yes.
We'll see you guys in the next step.
Yeah, and we'll bring that back. That milk.
No Dad Gang.
#NoDadTheGang. Cut.